What's popping out there, world? And welcome to another edition of TJ Sports Nation, presented by your boy TJ, straight out of KC. Here to rap for a little bit, man. Here to rap for a little bit. Then I'm going to a Chiefs watch party. Go Chiefs! Big game tonight. Big AFC West game tonight. You know what I'm saying? But just wanted to rap real quick, man. Some huge fights went down last week. My boy Dimitri Bivol in a tough fight, tough title defense. And a lot of people thought that he was gonna lose the fight. I know a lot of cats predicted that he would lose, believe it or not. What's going down with y'all, man? But once again, my boy rises and proves that he is a dog at 175 that can't be contained. When you look at my boy Dimitri Bivol's resume, you see a guy that's dominant. He's had some fights where he didn't may not have looked as sharp, but he still got the job done, man. From Sullivan Barrera to Gene Pascal, Joe Smith Jr. and the warrior that he is, knocking Bernard Hopkins out the ring like that. Joe Smith Jr. ain't no pushover. Then on Cinco de Mayo of this year, he did something that nobody, unless you really follow this sport, unless you really follow this sport and you know firsthand what Dimitri Bivol was about before that Canelo fight, nobody, not a soul, not none of these fellow YouTube cats, none of them thought Bivol had a chance at winning that fight, especially on Cinco de Mayo. And to me, Canelo wanted that date to work in his favor because that's his people's holiday. No disrespect to them at all. But how many times have we seen that happen? Not too many times. My boy Bivol stood in that pocket, used that reach, used that jab, kept Canelo at a distance, but still made sure he boxed him. And looked excellent in the process of doing it. Do you hear me, dog? Looked excellent in the process of doing it. Now, don't get me wrong. Canelo had done his thing. He had done his thing. He had fought 4 or 5 different cats back to back to back, from Caleb Plant to uh, Liam Smith. He had did it all, man. He had did it all. I mean, back to back to back. Every time I look up, Canelo was fighting somebody. So I give credit where credit is due. No doubt about it. As a fan, you have to, give credit where credit is due. But I just believe my boy, Bivol was too much. I'm sorry, Caleb Smith, my bad. Yeardrum, Billy Joe Saunders, British trash talking ass. It is no disrespect in him. Kovalev, I mean, he's fought some names, and then he was doing it back to back as much as he could, and I looked up, and when he got Caleb Plant out of the way, he chose to go up to 175 against Dimitri Bivol. And Dimitri Bivol the warrior that he is, parked him. So then we go into this fight a couple of weeks ago. It might have been last week or the week before that. Sorry, y'all. I've been busy getting stuff done and shit, but yeah, I got a couple of shows that are lined up for this week. But he goes in there against Gilberto Ramirez, who had lost, fan favorite, excellent fighter, but and he was a lot bigger than Bivol. Ramirez was way bigger than Bivol. But let me tell you, man, Bivol used his boxing IQ. As smart as he is, he kept him at a distance. And not only that, he showed that Ramirez didn't have any speed. Ramirez had no speed, man. None. He was very slow. Bivol wore him out the majority of the fight, man. So all this talk about Artur Bitterbeef, another fellow Russian who is a dog. I mean, this fight is a 50-50 fight on paper if you really look at it. Artur Bitterbeef is no slouch. 18-0, 0 knockouts, 0 losses. He's got a big fight coming up in January against Anthony Yard. Then I believe after that, him and Dimitri Bivol are going to finally go at it. But when you look at his resume, he got Joe Smith Jr. out of the way, got Marcus Brown out of the way. I mean, he's got a pretty decent resume going into a dog fight against his fellow countrymen. That's gonna be a good one, man. But at the end of the day, we're talking about Bivol. And I think that Bivol is just gonna be a little bit too much for him. That's what I think. I like Artur Bitterbeef. Artur Bitterbeef is a dog. Nice jab, good at going to that body, good defense. But I just think that, and I definitely believe he's going to get past Anthony Yard, even though Anthony Yard, is not a bad fighter, and that's definitely no pushover fight. I believe he's going to get past Anthony Yard at the end of the day. It will be an interesting matchup. Putting both these cats in the ring together against each other. If Artur Bitterbeef is fighting Anthony Yard at the end of January, this fight could happen spring sometime. Canelo's telling folks he's gonna fight somebody, and he wants the Bivol rematch, which we all kind of. I know I'm taking David Benavidez to get past Caleb Plant, even though I like Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is my dude, but I got to get an edge to Benavidez, and we all know that Canelo don't want no smoke with Benavidez, and another loss could tarnish Canelo's poor little legacy. You know what I'm saying? But so he's still trying to convince himself mentally that he can do anything with Dimitri Bivol or Artur Bitterbeef. I believe Dimitri Bivol will flat out punish Canelo the next time, even worse than he did the first time. Canelo don't have the footwork to keep up with Bivol. He's looking for that one shot, and he ain't gonna land it. He don't want to stand in the pocket and exchange with Bivol. Bivol ain't got to do that, man. Bivol got size on him, reach on him, and boxing IQ on him all day. All day. Tell me something different. Show me something different because I want to see. Because what I see, Bivol whooping that ass again. This ain't Caleb Plant. This ain't Caleb Smith. This ain't Billy Joe Saunders. This ain't Danny Jacobs. This is the real deal right here. We all know, like I said, you don't want that smoke with Benavidez. We don't want to see a fourth Triple G fight. Triple G, I'm hoping he calls it a career, but we don't want to see a fourth Triple G fight at all. So Canelo really doesn't have a lot of places to run. Give me some play, give me some opponents that he can run to because he's running out of options. Charlo possibly moving up to 168, uh, or 164, whatever. Charlo's moving up. Um, that's a big deal. Demetrius Andrade moving up. That's a big deal. Canelo don't want no smoke with Andrade or Charlo at 164 or 168. It don't matter. Styles make fights. At the end of the day, man, styles make fights. And I'm sorry, I just believe that my boy Bivol got a lot of their numbers, man, especially Canelo. But if he was to grow some balls and decide he'll go to war with Benavidez, shall Benavidez get past Plant? I got Benavidez knocking him out. That's just how I feel, G. So much to look forward to in the good game of boxing. You hear me? Now let's crawl into this Terrence Crawford, David Avanesian shit, right? Because they fight this about 2-3 weeks out, December 10th in Omaha. I'm hearing rumors that my boy Spence may possibly take the one fight that he said he wasn't gonna give, old Keith Thurman that opportunity because, when Keith Thurman had the belt before he lost it to Pacquiao, and then Pacquiao lost it to Ugas, Keith Thurman was on bullshit and didn't want to make the Spence fight. Now the shoe was on the other foot, and Keith Thurman need Earl Spence. He need Earl Spence. Keith Thurman. Ain't no other options out there for him, for real, for real. And he can fight the likes of Boots Ennis. He can fight the likes of Virgil Ortiz, but them was young bulls, man. Keep my age. We damn near in our middle 30s, man. He want that opportunity to put that gold back around his waist. But it ain't happening against Spence. And I would love to see that fight because stylistically, it is a good fight that all of us wanted to see at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? About as much as we wanted to see him and Crawford go at it. This was before Crawford got into the game. Good shit, Pittsburgh. They picked old Burrow off. This is before, he even got in the game at 147. We wanted Keith Thurman versus Earl Spence. Understand this, man. Hell of a matchup. But anyways, David Avanesian versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Bud has been on Twitter getting into it. I won't even tweet at him because the last time I did that shit, or every time I do that, they always kick me off and I end up getting suspended and all that. So I just say how I feel about somebody without tagging them or whatever in the tweet because I don't feel like it's necessary to do that because I ain't got time for that bullshit. I like being able to get on Twitter and learn things and so I just don't do it. But you know, my thing is Crawford, why are we on Twitter arguing with fans, brother? Why are we doing it, brother? Explain yourself, brother. Why are we on there arguing with fans? They're wanting to fight fans. Good brothers like Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Shout out to that brother. You know what I'm saying? Why are we doing it, Crawford? Explain why we doing it, brother. You want to know why he's so emotionally drawn into what we got to say? Because he knows he's full of shit, right? It's like a guilty motherfucker. And when you know you full of shit, these are the results. So you're gonna pay people attention. Like, come on, we fans, and calling us broke, man, to telling us all, you paid, and I understand. I'm happy that you wealthy and you taking care of your family, your wife, your kids. Beautiful family, bro, all day. But damn, man, you ain't got to take shots at all of us out here, man, because it's hard times for a lot of us out here, man. Yeah, we still being a fan and still being supported. You got folks in your corner that know deep down inside this is a bullshit ass fight you walking into, yet they still being supportive of you. So don't talk bad to the folks that might be less off than you, my brother. But Terrence Crawford is full of shit, and he has yet to be able to really explain logically why he was in negotiations with Al Heyman, right? At the same time, Pillow talking to BLK Prime, and then ultimately ends up signing a fight deal with BLK Prime. For a bullshit pay-per-view that ain't gonna cost nothing but about $40. I know I ain't paying for that shit. I'm gonna watch the highlights. But I ain't putting no money in Terrence Crawford's hand, man. I'm not doing it, bro. I'm so disappointed in that dude. There's no way I'm about to be stupid like that. I support the sport of boxing, right? But I hate the politics of boxing. Terrence is a warrior. Terrence is gonna walk into the fight with who he feel he needs to walk into the fight with. But man, at some point, this is the biggest fight of your career and the biggest payday that you'll ever get. All this BLK Prime stuff, that's all fine and dandy, man. But he could have did that shit later. He could have fought David Evanesian at home next spring or something. He would have had two big paydays back to back. Because regardless, at the end of the day, even if Crawford took a loss to Spence, I'm gonna explain something to you. Crawford would still be a household name. Crawford will still have a huge a kind of huge fan base. He ain't got a real big fan base, but he got a nice size uh, fan base. A much bigger fan base than his boy Sean Porter would have ever had in his career all day. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. And the only thing that I can say is I'm not even worried about his BLK Prime debut pay-per-view because to me it's a waste of time. At the end of the day, I wish him well in his fight. I hope it works out for him. And then who knows? Maybe at some point next year, uh, your boy can make some noise, and try this negotiating with Spence all over again. But if he didn't want to fight this round, he said numerous times that he on numerous occasions that he doesn't need Spence and all this shit. So I don't know, just to me, and just judging by his past and things of that nature, it doesn't seem like, he's just too big on the fight to me. You know, if he's in negotiations with the fighter's side, with the fighter's camp, and decides to veer off to a company that's never done anything in boxing, they just now getting into it, and they already screwing up by hiring that jackass Rick Lazier as the matchmaker. Like I just couldn't believe that. That was a bonehead move itself. But if Crawford is willing to give these cats a trust, then I tip my hat to him. I tip my hat to him. But anyways, man, I just wanted to wrap real quick. I'll be back on tomorrow. We got to get on Jake Paul's head tomorrow and talk about this week's fights coming up with Big Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora 3. Another fight that shouldn't be going down. And we got some other shit to cover, so y'all make sure y'all tap in with your boy. Much love. Y'all be safe.